I do apologize for that, you guys. I forgot and left my phone on. But what I was saying was, when you start your day off in a grateful mindset and really just look forward to your day with the different things. I mean, not really pondering on any specific thing, but just really just putting your energy towards always receiving the positive out of every situation. I know it sounds real corny or whatever, but I've been doing that. And I'm a spiritual person as well, so of course I do my prayers and my meditations and everything. I know you've heard me talk about that before, but when you're putting out that positive energy is going to come back. It's like magnets, or boomerang. Whatever you throw out is going to come right back. That boomerang, boom. Your energy is that boomerang. So even with when you're talking, you know, pay attention to the words that you're using, because sometimes you can not even realize it, where you're speaking and speaking out and putting out that energy of things that aren't exactly the greatest, and it could just be just how you do, handle your conversations, or, your speech pattern and things like that you've developed over time, so I'm not going to give you an example, only because right now I'm trying to get my mind around one and I just can't pull one out. That'll be good without, really having to delve off into that whole situation. But I'm sure you guys know what I mean when I say, putting out negative things. Sometimes it could just, repeating, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I don't have any money. Well, when you're putting that energy out of not having any money, a lot of times you're going to either not really, really not have it, or struggle to even get it. When you're doing that, if you're speaking that into your life, that's your energy that you're throwing out, and that's what you're going to get back. So it's one thing to say, you can say that a little differently or more specifically and say, well, I don't have money for that, or I don't have money for you or for them, or you see what I'm saying? But to say that you don't have money, that kind of cuts it short with period at all. And you don't really want to, even if you reach your hand in your pocket right now and all you got is dust, do not speak that into your life, because we've heard of life and death is in the power of the tongue. And it could be your life that you're getting back, because again, that's that boomerang effect. What you're putting out, you're getting back. So if you're speaking negatively about yourself, other people, other things, I mean, you're constantly throwing the negativity out. What do you think is going to be attracted to you? What do you think is going to come back to you? Negative and positive really don't work together like that. They really don't. You either going to be or you're not going to be. But you can't expect for really positive people and optimistic people, and who put out those energies, are going to be able to, not to say that they won't want to, but they won't be able to exist in your space, because you begin to drain them if you're speaking that negativity. Let's just be real. I know that everybody knows somebody that just drained the life out of them every time they were around them and made them depressed, because they were always speaking negatively. They could turn a good situation into something that is like beyond ridiculous. We all have at least one person that we've met somewhere along the line in our lives that fits that bill. So again, if you knew that part of the reason, or if it was the sole reason that you are no longer in contact with that person in a closer relationship the way you once were, is simply put, if you're putting out positive and they're pulling out the negative, they pulling, you're putting out and they pulling, they're going to drain you. And what they're going to deposit into you is going to be negative. So you're not going to be able to sit with that, because your inner mind and your spirit is saying positive, but all you getting back, you're going to move on to a more, more inclusive, or rather more specific type of feeling. You're going to go towards what is more like you. If you're positive, you want to be around positive. For some reason, a lot of times when people are pessimistic or are of negative heart and mind, they seek out the optimist, because it's basically like they're sucking the life out of you. And I don't mean it to say that pessimistic and negative people are, well, they're technically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, yeah, they are. They bleed you dry. They'll suck you dry of all of your positive energy. And once they suck it out of you, they go on to the next positive person and they suck the life out of them too. You know, and then in their minds, no one ever wants to be around me, and I don't care if nobody likes me. I'm going to continue to do what I do, and boo, 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 boo. See, these are the mindsets and the rationalize that we list under rationalizing, but it's really rationalize. You know, and you rationalize yourself into this position where it's like, okay, well, everybody hates me. I hate the world. I hate this and I hate that. And that's a lot of negative that you're putting out, and a lot of isolation you're causing for yourself. So it doesn't take anything if you are of a negative mindset and you don't want to be. You want your life to be smooth and happy, or at least have some kind of joy and peace that's genuine, that lets you relax and not be on guard for your emotional status or your mental well-being, you know, things like that. It's just somewhere where you can just be you. You know, it's available. You just gotta agree and decide with yourself that you're not going to put out the negative anymore. You just start changing over to more positive, you know, reword your statements when you're putting them out there, be more word specific. You know, something small like that will change a lot. You know, I know this only because I've lived this. So this part I can't speak with authority and say I know this, because when I was in my negative mindset, I would war with myself. I wanted peace. I wanted joy. I wanted love. I wanted happiness, and I wanted friendship. But I was so angry and so guarded and so hurt that I could only see the world through those lenses. And it's nothing wrong with that, because it's natural. But at some point in time, you have to realize that those are not the only pair of sunglasses on the rack. You can pick up another pair of sunglasses and put on the rosy colored ones where you can start to see more in living color instead of all the doom and gloom of black and white. And you see what, I know I'm full of these metaphors. I know I'm full of it. I'm sorry, but that's how I think. It's weird. I don't think in words. I think in pictures. I don't know. Anyway, I know it's really, really off course of what we were talking about. I apologize, guys. But you have a choice, and it's sometimes a hard choice because your pride, your ego gets in the way. People who believe that you are that way and that's who you are forever, and will not accept the fact that you're no longer that person that they once knew, but you are a new person. You're doing new things. There are things that make it very difficult for you to transition into the next step of who you are. Because how does Steve Harvey say it? Not everybody that came with you can go with you. It doesn't make a difference whether it's about money, status, or anything. It's just the place that your life is in at that moment, at that, that time frame. Every couple of years, 10 years, 5 years, things change a lot, drastically. Some things that you used to do, you don't want to do anymore. Things that you used to eat, you don't want to eat anymore. People you were around, you don't see them anymore. You don't even think about them. Let's be real. How many of us really sit around pondering all of the people that we've encountered in our lifetime and wondering where they are and why you haven't seen them? Nah, I say every once in a while there might be a special person or a special group, but it's not going to be every person that you met. So that being an example, things change constantly. That's the only thing that is a definite. things are going to change always, sometimes for the better, sometimes not so much, but it's how you deal with it that counts. Don't let life knock you down and you just lay there like a turtle on its back. You have the ability to flip back over, get up on your feet, and keep it moving. Because, unfortunately, you got to think of life like Mario Karts. You driving an erratic vehicle that you could barely control because the remote control really don't work on time the way it would if you were physically behind that steering wheel. And you're running into everything blowing up around you, but you still good and you still riding and you still get to go where you go. That's basically life. Things come out of left field, right field, east, north, east, west, south. Things come from everywhere, every direction, so you can't just lay down every time something bothers you or something is hard. And I know that change is hard. But what you get out of it is what you're going to put into it. And I think, honestly, don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. Enjoy the ride. It's your journey. It's your path. Just live your life and be happy. Find joy. Find peace. Just find peace. It can be you by yourself and it can be you with other people. But as long as it's you, you'll be all right. I know I took you all around the world and talked about all kinds of stuff and gave you a whole bunch of metaphors to look at. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to the difference between being lonely and alone. Lonely is just an emotion. You can deal with that emotion and move on. And just keep a positive attitude about it. Know who you are. Take that time out when you are alone. Take that time out to learn you, experience you. Take yourself out on a date every once in a while. Go to the park. Go for a long walk downtown, wherever you live. Just get out and just be with you. And once you're accustomed to being with you, guess what's going to happen? People are going to want to be with you. Because now you're not, you're not the person that you used to be. Not saying that the person that you are right now is wrong. But when people see growth and development and they're on a growth and development journey as well, it attracts you. Again, that's that law of attraction thing. When you are attracted to what you are like. So if you're a lonely person and you're putting out the lonely, which is the negative of, the whole situation, you're going to tend to pull yourself back and be alone. I was reading, what is it? How to breaking the habit of being you. And in it, he says, when you start doing things, and, you can get into a way that you're doing it, but now you have to work on breaking or disconnecting or rewiring the circuitry so that it performs the way you want it to perform. Because after a while, you go into an autopilot and the feelings that you're thinking about or meditating on the most are what's going to become the norm. So after a while, your body will go into autopilot, and it feeds now off of the negative energy because that's what it has come to know as the norm. But if you want to rewire it, like I was saying earlier, or break the chain, you have to actively and purposefully rewire it. You have to take those negative thoughts and stop those negative thoughts or feelings, emotions, or reactions, because being lonely will cause you to withdraw from other invitations to go out with other people, because you look at the situation and say, well, they are closer to each other than I am, and I'm just going to be a third wheel, or they just feel sorry for me, so I'm going to show them that they don't have to. I'm just going to stay home. Or they got new updated outfits and they always shopping and they always